Thank you to the technical staff. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everyone. In behalf of our President, Maria Luna Cacanando, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude for providing us the opportunity to share what we have been doing at Small Business Corporation. Next slide, please. I will present briefly three items: our corporation, our COVID-19 pandemic response, and our different loan programs. Next slide, please. The Small Business Corporation is a government financial institution under the Department of Trade and Industry. It was created in 1991 under the Magna Carta for Small Enterprises. We are mandated to provide financing to MSMEs, especially the micros. Currently, we have a loan portfolio of 15 billion, serving 38,000 direct retail borrowers, more on micros, and 200,000 indirect borrowers through our 406 partner financial institutions and cooperatives. Our vision for 2025 is to provide financing alternatives for Philippine MSMEs. Our social responsibility is banked or hinged on 7 unfinanceable segments. First is the micro and small agri and aqua enterprises. Second, the micro retailers. Third, the small island economies. Fourth, the MSMEs requiring rehabilitation arising from disaster, like what we are experiencing now, the COVID pandemic. Fifth, the Islamic MSMEs. Sixth, the indigenous people-owned enterprises. And lastly, but not the least, the first time small business enterprises and startups. Last July, we celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we took this opportunity to rebrand Small Business Corporation into SB Corp, where MSMEs go to grow. This is inspired by our anniversary slogan of determined, resilient, and growing at 30 years. Next slide, please. What did we do at the onset of the pandemic? Immediately upon the imposition of the lockdown, we activated our business continuity plan. And I'm happy to share that we have upgraded this business continuity plan to adapt to what we have learned during the almost 1.5 years pandemic. And this is already in compliance with our Office of Civil Defense Public Service Continuity Plan, which we will be submitting tomorrow in compliance with the October 31 deadline. We also have set up a work from home arrangements to promote 100% operational activities to continue serving the needs of the MSMEs. And during the pandemic, our information technology team was able to develop our own borrower registration system to allow online loan application by MSMEs to avoid face-to-face transactions and process a large number of applications. And this is part of our ongoing 5-year digitalization and platformification initiatives. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. We formulated and come up with a COVID-19 assistance to restart enterprises program, or CARES for short. In the absence of government funding at the onset of the pandemic, we reallocated 1 billion fund from our P3 fund, or we called it the Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso. This is a fund under the President Duterte's administration to fight the loan sharks for micro enterprises benefits. And so far, we have allocated 1 billion with zero interest and no collateral. They can borrow from 10,000 up to 500,000. And in October 2020, when the Bayanihan 2 law was passed and enacted by Congress and eventually approved by the President, 8 billion from the coffers of the government were downloaded to SB Corp as part of our equity to continue funding the needs of the MSMEs. From here, we were able to provide loans from 10,000 up to a maximum of 5 million. Under this program, we have ongoing 3 CARES program. The regular program, where we already have approved 5.7 billion for 35,000 enterprises. Secondly, we also have a travels program, or short for tourism, rehabilitation, and vitalization of enterprises and livelihood, focusing or targeted to the tourism sector. And for this, we have already approved 242 million for 526 tourism sectors. And the third one is the HEROES program, or helping the economy recover through our overseas Filipino workers enterprise startups. And we have approved so far 40 million for 810 OFWs. With the 8 billion fund, our portfolio grew from 5 billion in 2019 to 15 billion as of now. And since our capitalization or authorized capital is only 10 billion, we are already fully capitalized, and we have a pending request from Congress to increase our capitalization to 50 billion so that we can continue to serve more micro, small, and medium enterprises. And as you can see at the chart, 84% of these CARES loans are for micro enterprises or availed by micro enterprises, 11% by small enterprises, and 2% only for medium enterprises. Next slide, please. As of today, as you can see on the chart, every month, we have an increasing trend of borrowers. And as of today, we already have approved 36,529 borrowers for a total of 5.9 billion pesos. And we have released 5.5 billion pesos for 33,948 borrowers. Next slide, please. So as you can see on the chart, we are widely distributed to all the 17 regions of the country for the 85 provinces. Next slide, please. Our travels or tourism loan facility has an allocation of 4 billion out of the 8 billion fund that we got from our treasury. And since there are low demand for this sector because of the on and off opening of the tourism industry, we reallocated 1.5 billion to be used for non-MSMEs borrowers. Because as of July, the 4 billion allocated for non-tourism MSMEs have already been fully utilized. And to motivate further the tourism sector to avail this loan facility at zero interest and no collateral, we even extended the grace period from 1 year to 2 years for a maximum of 4 years repayment period. And with higher loanable amount, more relaxed requirements, and with the second loan, as long as their threshold is not reached yet. Next slide, please. We hope that the balance of 4 billion from the non-tourism sector will be fully utilized in the coming months. And we are optimistic because as the numbers of COVID-related diseases are going down, we believe that more and more borrowers will avail of the loan. We adopted also a whole of nation approach by partnering with different government agencies. And I'm happy to announce that this morning, we have signed a memorandum of agreement with the Cooperative Development Authority to reach out further to more cooperatives, especially the micro and the small ones. And this doesn't stop us from further creating more loan facilities for post-pandemic and ongoing crisis. Right now, we have 3 additional loan facilities. One is ongoing, the Staples Program, or short for Sustaining Trade Access for Primary Food and Linked to Enterprises. This is a partnership with the fast-moving consumer good companies, and we have allocated 200 million to reach out to their sari-sari stores or the small retail sectors. We will launch also next week or November 2, our 13th month pay loan facility in partnership with the Department of Labor and Employment to cater to the needs of the micro, small enterprises who have impending needs to pay for the 13-month pay of their employees. And we have allocated initially 500 million for this loan facility. And lastly, we have a new facility also for our partner financial institutions and cooperatives, because we believe that we need to provide relief also to them so that they can continue lending to the micro enterprises. We call this new program ASCENT, which is short for Allies of Sustainability for COVID-affected enterprises. And we just got approval yesterday during our board meeting so that we can already start this by next week. Apart from this, we have an ongoing programs with a 7 billion outstanding balance for regular wholesale and retail, for the P3 wholesale and retail, and for our brothers and sisters on the military. We call this the Kiyawiya, or those families who want to go into businesses for the killed in action and wounded in action soldiers, and also for the transport sectors. Let me end my sharing with an anonymous quote, and we are inspired by this, that businesses survive not simply because the companies are good, but because the entrepreneurs do not give up. And SB Corp is committed to continue helping the MSMEs get back on their feet and recover. Thank you, and keep safe, everyone.